yet begin to knowing us. But now I know it's growing strong.
How about those speakers? And how about Dennis and Jalen Fonseca and their wonderful rendition of Gonna have to get a copy of that one. My brother-in-law has been calling me Tommy Boy for about 10 years though. So perfect. Well, before I get into my speech, there's so many people here that I have to thank. Actually, let me start with, I have to thank all of you. Yes, there are dignitaries in the room, but all of you are going to make the difference. I mean, I'm the guy with the neck on the chopping block. I'll put myself out there. I've done the do for the past 14 years. But all of you are going to make a difference because you have friends and family and networks. And this is how we get our message out there to make a difference up on Beacon Hill. But I want to say thank you, first of all, to, of course, my wonderful wife, Melissa, in the back of the room. I've been doing the local politics and regional politics things for a good 14 years now. And it takes time away from the family. And my wife understands that, and she gets it. I'm not saying she's in love with the idea half the time, but she gets it and she supports it. We share the same views, and it's because she allows me to do what I do. It allows me to get before all of you, and so we can share the message and make a difference here in Beacon Hill. So every time you see Melissa, when I don't get a chance to see Melissa, please say hi. The rest, you know, I've got a lot of family here, but I certainly want to recognize Melissa's grandmother. We call her Goog. She's 97 years old. She's a great supporter, great activist. Say hi. And I just want to say, I'm just recognizing one of my biggest supporters. He was my treasurer for 10 years. Wasn't expecting it. He passed away last year. He was my father-in-law. I wish he was here. I'm sure he wishes he wasn't, because he hated the tie, but he was a great treasurer. But Chick, I really wish you were here. Great guy. I'm sure half you guys know him. But he passed away, and I wish he was here, but he's certainly here in spirit. Expect that to hit me like that. All right, you know, you have to put a speech together on days like this. I typically don't do the physical speech where you have to read it aloud, but you know what? This is a big campaign. Look around. We've got the message. We've got the great staff. We're getting the calls from all the papers, and we're sitting on 48% of the vote from last time. This is a real opportunity. And you've heard the term, what is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Well, guess what? That's Massachusetts. We keep electing the same people over and over again, and do we get a different result? No, we don't. In the political climate that's bursting at the seams, with fresh scandals and abuses, and the public trust just evaporating. More and more we are seeing a new breed of professional politician up at Beacon Hill. Been there for 10, 20 years. The special interest, the money, the backroom deals are continuing over and over and over again, yet nothing changes up at Beacon Hill. You are here today because you, like me, want to see a difference. You want to see Massachusetts change. You want a climate where business can thrive and grow new jobs. You want a lower tax burden, and you want to keep more of your hard-earned tax dollars. It's just not happening. You want an accountable state government that doesn't waste your tax dollars. And you want a better future for your children and your grandchildren. You want a state government you can be proud of, and you want a senator that you can trust. That's why, as the Beacon Hill insiders are up at, as Holly Cow would call, Halitosis Hall, having their St. Patrick's Day breakfast, patting each other on the backs, laughing about all of the problems in the state, which we call failure, yet they just have some drinks and pat each other on the back. We're down here, and we're working. We're teaching our children to do the right thing. We're paying our taxes. We're paying our mortgages. And abiding by the laws. And so I'm here to officially announce, I've been waiting to say this for months, that I will be a candidate for the state senate. To be the senator to take on the tough challenges. Look, I'm not running to seek office so that I can pad my political resume, because I already have one. I'm not running for political office so that someday I can get a private sector job, because I already have one. I'm running because I believe I have the background and I have the experience in the private sector and in the community service that makes me well prepared to face the challenges up on Beacon Hill and for the state. Now more than ever before, we need a senator whose only agenda is to fight, and to fight for our priorities of restoring integrity, accountability, reviving our economy, and lowering the tax burden. Our next senator has to be a driving force to finding and seeking out these solutions. For far too long, Boston has refused to tackle the issues, holding back our economy. We have been in this recession for 3 long years and nothing is changing. The incumbent says things are going well, because our employment rate is at 6.8%. I'm sorry, but that's nothing to be proud of. But even more than that, people are underemployed. There are people in this state that have taken lesser jobs, jobs that are outside their field. That's the underemployed because of this recession. And the underemployment rate is 8.9%. Let me say that again. The underemployment rate, 8.9%. When you take the underemployment rate and the unemployment rate, you add them together, it comes to 15.7%. We have an employment problem of 15.7%. And the worst part is our senator won't even recognize it. She doesn't even acknowledge the problem. That's because she doesn't see it every day like we do. It's a real problem. As your next senator, I am committed to creating a new and exciting economic development system that will allow for new business growth, new jobs growth. I want businesses to stay in Massachusetts. I want them to grow in Massachusetts, be competitive here in Massachusetts. Government cannot create jobs. We create the environment. The environment right now is horrendous. Businesses have left Massachusetts. They've gone not to China, they went to New Hampshire. in Rhode Island. We're not even competitive regionally. We need to change course. We need to change course immediately. As a father, I strongly believe that our children should be taught to respect their elected leaders. Unfortunately, when there's so much scandal, political gamesmanship, helping of the politically connected, and festering their own nest, we cannot point to our elected officials as people to admire. That's a shame. We've had 3 senators recently go to jail and 3 speakers convicted as felons. We have a serious problem. It's a lack of leadership. Now the state legislature is facing the probation department scandal. You've all heard about that in the paper. How does our senator react? She defends it. November of 2010, when the probation scandal came out, which was the Ware report, my opponent says, that's part of what we do. Proudly. That's just part of what we do. She defends the pay-to-play schemes as business as usual up at the State House. But you know what? She's right. That is the way they do business, when they don't put the people they represent first. If you send this ethics and compliance officer to Beacon Hill, I will end the culture of corruption. That's what I do professionally. It's going to take some shaming, but it's what I do. I can do it with a smile too.